Rock Jumpers, Episode 1. In the year 3300, humanity's relentless pursuit of the galaxy's rarest resources propels it into the furthest reaches of space under the banner of the mega-mining corporation ROCKJUMPERS. This era of exploration and exploitation is on a scale never before imagined, with ROCKJUMPERS leading the charge with its fleet of advanced mining ships, each a beacon of human ingenuity and ambition. Their latest venture targets a remote planet, a mysterious orb from which all probes sent have mysteriously ceased transmission, sparking intrigue and a hunger for discovery among the corporation's ranks. The RJS Endeavor, a ship with a reputation as solid as the corporation it serves, approaches this enigmatic world. Its crew, a collection of ROCKJUMPERS' finest, awakens from the depths of cryo-sleep, a process that halts the march of time for those who dare to traverse the vast distances between stars. Captain Bick Rocker, a name synonymous with the bold spirit of ROCKJUMPERS, gathers his crew for a briefing that sets the tone for their daunting mission. "We stand at the edge of the unknown," Captain Rocker begins, his voice cutting through the anticipation. "The probes have gone silent, but we will not." Captain Rocker declares, "We are ROCKJUMPERS. We leap where others fear to tread. Prepare for descent." As the dropship leaves the RJS Endeavor and breaches the planet's atmosphere, a violent storm of cosmic dust and electromagnetic turbulence engulfs the ship. The outer hull screeches in protest, the heat shields flirt with failure, and the thrusters, those mighty engines of descent, sputter and gasp, fighting against the planet's unwelcoming gravitational embrace. Alarms blare as the crew braces for what may come, each member's face displaying a blend of determination and fear. Alarms scream, a cacophony of warnings blare as the hull glows red with heat, pushing the limits of the ship's engineering. "Thruster 2 is out," cries the pilot as he maneuvers the ship through the tempest, compensating with auxiliary systems. "Brace for impact." The ship, a metal phoenix, wrestles with the atmosphere's fiery grip. It is a dance with death, with ingenuity born of necessity and a touch of luck. The pilot maneuvers the dropship. It emerges from the fog. The crew exhales in unison, a momentary relief as they see the shadows of the planet's surface appear below. They have survived the descent, but the true test lies ahead. "Damage report," Captain Rocker commands, his gaze fixed on the swirling mists of the planet below, a challenge laid bare. "We've made it this far, crew. Remember, we are ROCKJUMPERS. Adversity is but a stepping stone to greatness." After ensuring the ship was securely positioned in a relatively clear area, dense with the towering alien flora, seemingly safe from immediate threats, the crew initiated the core drilling mission. Captain Bick Rocker, with his characteristic blend of caution and resolve, supervised the deployment of the drilling equipment, a high-tech assemblage of sensors, drills, and collection canisters designed for the precise task of extracting planetary samples. The scientists aboard, experts in geology and xenomineralogy, eagerly took the lead, their eyes alight with the prospect of uncovering resources or elements unknown to humanity. The operation commenced with the smooth precision of a well-rehearsed procedure. The drill bit, made of a diamond titanium composite, spun to life, burrowing into the alien soil with a hum that resonated through the dense jungle air. Meanwhile, the space marshals who had hitchhiked with the Endeavor on behalf of ROCKJUMPERS Corporation began their own investigation, tasked with probing the mysteries surrounding the lost probes, whether incidents of sabotage by rival corporations or interference by unknown entities. They moved quietly, blending with the shadows of the towering vegetation, in search for the missing probe's location. However, their mission of exploration was soon interrupted by the unexpected emergence of the planet's native fauna. From the verdant underbrush, creatures with gleaming exoskeletons, reminiscent of Earth's ancient raptors but with a terrifying alien twist, launched an assault on the crew. These beings, fierce and seemingly intelligent, displayed an aggressive territoriality and a coordination in their attacks that suggested a complex social structure. A fierce skirmish unfolded between the space marshals and the exoskeletal creatures. The marshals, seasoned in the art of combat across the stars, quickly formed a defensive perimeter, their advanced weaponry at the ready. As the creatures surged forward with startling speed, their exoskeletons glinting under their spotlights, the air was filled with the crackle and hum of energy weapons clashing against their natural armor. The marshals worked in seamless unity, their movements precise. Each blast from their rifles was calculated, aiming to slow the tide of ferocious beings that seemed almost impervious to harm. Despite their tactical superiority and combat prowess, the marshals found themselves pressed from all sides, the creatures' numbers overwhelming, their attacks coordinated with an unsettling intelligence. It was in this moment of intense conflict, amidst the chaos of energy fire and the raw fury of the creatures, that the decision was made to fall back to the drill site, a decision born of necessity and the stark realization that this battle could not be won by firepower alone. The marshals' disciplined retreat, covering each other's movements with controlled volleys of fire, was a testament to their training and resolve, but also an acknowledgment of the formidable and unexpected challenge posed by this alien world's guardians. The attackers, however, were undeterred. Their exoskeletons provided formidable protection against the space marshals' weaponry, turning the retreat into a desperate battle for survival. The realization that these creatures were drawn to the drilling operation, perhaps by the vibrations or the unearthed materials, added a horrifying new layer to the encounter. It suggested not only a natural predation but a deeper, possibly sentient connection. The battle against the relentless horde of exoskeletal raptors was rapidly turning dire, with the space between the beleaguered defenders and the surging predators diminishing with every passing moment. The energy weapons of the space marshals, though fierce and bright, were not enough to stem the tide of the advancing beasts. Their roars tore through the air, a symphony of primal aggression, as their claws found the ship's metal hull and their eyes burned with a hunger for the fray. Amidst the chaos, Captain Bick Rocker recognized the grim turn of events. The marshals and the crew, with their backs against the dropship, faced an onslaught that threatened to overwhelm them. In a moment of tactical desperation, Rocker's voice cut through the din, commanding and clear. "Grenades!" he shouted, his order slicing through the despair. "Everyone, on three. 1, 2, 3, now!" The synchronized release of thermal grenades was a last defiant stand against the encroaching darkness. As the crew hurled their grenades into the maw of the oncoming horde, time seemed to slow, the small cylindrical devices arcing gracefully through the air before finding their mark amidst the raptors. The detonations that followed were cataclysmic. Fire and force erupted in a series of blinding flashes, the concussive waves rolling outwards, tearing through the ranks of the raptors with merciless efficiency. The carnage was immediate and devastating. Raptors caught in the blast radius were instantly incinerated, their exoskeletons offering no protection against the intense heat and shockwave. The explosions tore through flesh and bone, sending charred remnants scattering like leaves in a storm. The air filled with the acrid scent of burned flesh and the eerie glow of embers floating back to the ground, painting a hellish tableau of destruction. As one of the space marshals shouts out, "Welcome to the barbecue, baby." In the immediate aftermath, the jungle was silent, save for the crackling of fires and the distant pained cries of the surviving raptors. The ground around the dropship was a charred wasteland, the vegetation scorched, the earth blackened. The creature's advance had been halted, if only momentarily, by the devastating efficiency of human technology. In the heated aftermath of their narrow escape, as the crew hurried to prepare the dropship for an immediate departure from the perilous planet, Captain Bick Rocker's command was clear and unequivocal: leave everything behind and evacuate. It was a directive born of necessity, prioritizing the safety of his crew over the mission's material gains. However, this order was met with stark opposition by the lead scientist, who, in a moment fueled by both desperation and discovery, vehemently objected. "Wait!" he protested, rising to challenge the captain's decision with a fervor that commanded attention. "We've unearthed a resource here that defies all our expectations, something so valuable it's beyond calculation. We're sitting on a treasure trove. His argument was compelling, underscored by the tangible evidence of a small sample already secured on the ship, a sample that hinted at fortunes beyond any of their imaginations. With animated gestures and a voice laced with the excitement of potential wealth, the lead scientist made his case. This isn't just about scientific discovery, it's about the chance to redefine our futures. With the amount of the resource we've detected, we could all be at the helm of our own enterprises, masters of wealth and power beyond our wildest dreams. As the dropship's engines roared to life, a defiant rumble against the backdrop of an alien world that had almost claimed them, Captain Bick Rocker, with a steely resolve in his eyes, made one final, decisive move before the ship tore itself away from the planet's gravitational embrace. He shoved a pulse rifle into the lead scientist's hands, pressing him against the wall with a gravity that matched their situation. "You want those core samples? Assemble volunteers and get them, but this ship lifts off in 10 minutes, with or without you." His voice, hard and unyielding, left no room for argument. "We've paid in blood. Too many have fallen. It's time to go." Driven by a blend of determination and the magnetic pull of wealth, the scientist, accompanied by a dozen brave souls, ventured out from the relative safety of the dropship towards the drill site, a mere 30 yards away, but worlds apart in terms of danger. Their mission was clear: retrieve the core samples that promised untold riches and a discovery for the ages. As the group made their way back to the ship, laden with the precious samples, the creatures, masters of stealth, had set a trap, their understanding of the terrain and its tactical advantages honed through eons of evolution. The ambush was sprung with ferocious precision. From the underbrush, the raptors surged, their exoskeletal forms a blur of motion, overwhelming the party with a speed and ferocity that left no room for defense or escape. The air was torn with the cries of the ambushed crew, their pleas for help, a desperate refrain against the backdrop of the jungle's indifferent chorus. Captain Bick Rocker, witnessing the unfolding tragedy from the ship's hatch, faced an agonizing decision. The screams of his crewmates and friends, echoing the primal fear of prey ensnared, clawed at his resolve. Yet the captain's duty, the heavy burden of command, left him with no choice but to secure the safety of the remaining crew and the mission's broader objectives. With a heart heavy with sorrow and eyes blurred with a tumult of emotion, he gave the order to close the hatch, sealing the fate of those outside. The ship's engines ignited, propelling the dropship skyward, leaving behind the planet and its lethal inhabitants, along with the men who had dared to dream of wealth beyond measure, but found instead the ultimate price of their ambition. As the ship broke atmosphere, the silence that settled over the crew was not just the void of space enveloping them, but the weight of loss and the stark reminder of their vulnerability in the vast, uncaring expanse of the universe. The liftoff marked not just a physical departure from the planet, but a somber reflection on the cost of human greed, the limits of ambition, and the unfathomable complexities of life that thrived in the shadows of the stars. This is not goodbye, nor the end. Until the story continues, my friends. B. and Rocker.